Now I've only got those two layers selected. I figure the PC and engineers, and I'm gonna keep moving those up. Actually, no. I think they ended up moving they moved with everything up until that point, and then they kept going. So I'm gonna move my playhead over. Now go engineers and I figure the PC. Something like that.
I figure the engineers who built the all-new 09 F. I figure the engineers who built the all-new 09 F.
Okay, good. What else did they do? 09. F150 grows out from behind the mountains. Okay. We can put in mountains. New. Solid. Something a little darker than that. It's just fine. Okay. I'm gonna create my mountains. Alright, I'm gonna make this just a little more even. Oh, and it's snapping to my guide. Wonderful. Turn that off. Alright, so those are my mountains. I wonder what it looks like. Oh, I figured the engineers who built the all-new 09. Okay. Now I want the word, I'm going to name that mountains. Spell it correctly would be helpful. Now I want the word F150 to come out from behind that. F150. And if I remember correctly, that was huge. I mean, like a giant word coming out from behind there. So it starts maybe something like down here, and it's underneath the mountains. And it changes in position along with everything else. So here, and then it moves up. I might have made my letters a little too big. Oh, no, well, that's about where it sits. Okay. Great. I'm going to trim that layer. Who built, I figured the engineers who built the all-new 09 F150. Do you want to see that?
I figure the engineers who built the all-new 09 F. I figure the engineers.
Okay, not bad. What'd they do next?
150 are probably the.
They had everything move off to the side. R probably, at the same time as R probably came on. Okay. Alright, so let's look at where R probably sound is.
F150 are probably.
Okay, it's right over here. Now I need to move all of this in position, move it all over. Okay, fine. Select all the layers, all of them. Add a keyframe. That'll add keyframes to everything if you have everything selected. And I want that to move all the way over. I'm just going to click somewhere in one of these layers and hold shift so that everything moves. It snaps to the x-axis. So let's just see what that looks like. Okay, so everything moves. And then we've got the words are probably. It's going to be a lot smaller than that. are probably still smaller than that. Let's fix my spacing back to the original. It's still pretty big. Where did that end up? Okay, somewhere like that. Are probably. Okay, so that's the timing right here. This is the timing that we just set up. You're gonna end up, or probably, right here. Oh, where am I doing? Position. Set a position keyframe. It came off from stage right somewhere, so I don't know. Something like that. RAM preview everything.
I figure the engineers who built the all-new '09 F150 are probably. I figure the engineers who built the all-new '09 F150 are probably.
Okay. Or probably scales down, and the comes up as soon as probably gets to that last keyframe. The same guys. Okay. Or probably. Okay, so we actually just animated position, so because we animated position and I need to change that anchor point to move it up here, I'm going to keyframe anchor point now. Put in one keyframe for anchor point, and then I'm going to put in a keyframe here for position and another one for anchor point, and I'm going to use the pan behind tool to move this anchor point somewhere up here. Now if I leave the animation like this, R probably is gonna, the letters are gonna move around kind of funny. So here's that position, and now they're moving around all weird. In order to avoid that, I'm gonna make these keyframes hold keyframes. Just right click, toggle hold keyframe. What it does is it keeps these keyframes still so they won't tween between these frames and these ones. So it's sort of a little cheat. Okay, so now I can keyframe scale, and it'll scale exactly where I'd like it to scale to. Let's look at scale. Probably, let's see, was that about the right size? Sure. Probably the same. Okay, remember to check your position, make sure they're at the same Y coordinates, and they are, which is pretty impressive. Same, let's move that over. Okay, now we just need to make sure those pop on at the right time.
Same guys we all.
Okay, right about there. Probably. Set the opening for the, well, trim your layers using the option open bracket, and then move over, set the endpoint for this layer, option open bracket. Are probably the same guys. Okay. And guys was huge. Let's see. Something like that. What was the motion on that? Okay, guys actually flips down on the x-axis, So we need to turn on 3D for that layer. And it also seems like it's kind of attached to the text the same. So let's see what happens after that. Oh, okay. I'm just going to parent guys to the same. Guys to the same. So I parented those. Guys, let's see, I need to move that anchor point again so that it flips down from the top. There we go. Same. Let's see. I need to trim this layer, option open bracket. I've been mentioning option open bracket a lot. If you want to close the bracket, if you want to do the endpoint, you do option close bracket. Okay, so let's turn on 3D for this layer. Go to rotation on the x-axis, and there we go. Plus 90. That swings down to 0. It actually goes a little bit past that. Oh, I didn't actually set a keyframe, did I? Oh, brilliant. X rotation. 90. Okay. Move over. Snap back down to 0. There we go. We're actually going to have it swing back and forth just a little bit, so we have to go, let's see, it went this way, we're going to go a little bit past that and go, I don't know, sure, 13 degrees for now. It might look a little strange, but okay, then we'll move it back. Back to maybe 8 or so, and then back to 0. Okay. So if we scrub, we can see it does that. I'm going to move the position up just a little bit. Okay. So everything moves up. So let's see, this is already parented to the same word. So let's see, all I really have to keyframe is same, the, and are probably. Let's make sure everyone has position showing. Okay, let's put in position keyframes, turn them on if they aren't already there. Okay, now we need to make sure that the right layers are selected for when we move, so we need to make sure are probably, the, and same are selected. Now just use the arrow keyframe, the arrow keys to move everything up. No idea what that really looks like. There we go. Let's see. Same guys. Alright, so let's do a RAM preview. What all of this looks like. Oh.
Figure the engineers who built the all-new 09 F150 are probably the same guys we all cheated.
Oh, it's a little slow. So I'll move that up just a bit. Okay. Moving these things up is a little tricky because everything sort of depends on, you know, one layer depends on the next layer, which depends